Yo, yo, what is going on, my fellow wrestling fans? Welcome to a brand new week and welcome to a brand new edition of what we like to call the Clash of Champions, where we talk about the different personalities, different controversies, news, and everything in between that shape this world we know and love as professional wrestling. I am your host, the vegan you believe in, Conscious Kurt, aka the Professor in the flesh as always, and he is.
This is tag team partner Jonathan Randall, the adventure, the life of the party, and welcome to our soap opera we love to call professional wrestling, ladies and gentlemen. So much. I mean, everything is always going on in the world of wrestling, but man, this past week, too much happened.
We'll get into that crazy ass wrestling news that's been going on over the last week in a few minutes. But before we start that, I want to get into some very sad news as Sika, one half of the legendary tag team, the Wild Samoans, and also the father of Roman Reigns, passed away this past Tuesday at 79 years old.
Man, very unfortunate, man. Did they say what was the cause of his passing?
No, they did not. It's been no revealing of the cause of death yet, but I do know that he did pass away. It's very unfortunate.
Hmm.
I really feel for Roman, the rest of the family. I know Roman lost his brother Rosie a
Yeah,
couple years ago. I'm sure that was hard for him. They actually talked about that on his
yeah,
documentary, the A&E one from a few months back. And then obviously losing your dad. Anytime you lose a parent, no matter what age it is, it always is a punch to the gut. And I can imagine what
yeah.
Roman's going through right now.
Yeah, man. I feel bad for him and his entire family. Our thoughts and prayers go out with him and his entire family. Sika Anoi was, like you said, one half of the Wild Samoans tag team back in the day, in the early days of the WWF, and very great tag team, by the way, and just a profound impact on the Samoans that pretty much, like started just a whole chain of the next generations to come. You know what I mean? So just a big family tree line, man, and it just goes on, and it's continuing to this day. But yeah, Sika Anoi is just, he's one of, like, you could say, like the founding grandfathers of the of great Samoan wrestlers in this business.
Yeah, from the Wild Samoans to the Head Shrinkers, Yokozuna, The Rock,
Yeah,
now the Usos, Roman, Solo, and the other members of the Bloodline. Yeah, they can all be traced back to the Wild Samoans and also Peter Maivia, too, you have to throw in there.
yeah, exactly. High Chief Peter Maivia, exactly. So yeah, man, 79. You know what? I'm gonna tell you this. I love the fact, we go back to almost 4 years ago. I'll never forget when Roman Reigns had his match against Jey Uso. After the match, I loved how the Wild Samoans, especially Sika, adorned Roman with the tribal necklace.
Yes, they did do that at the Hell in a Cell show from 2020. Yes, they did do that.
Yeah,
Also, another funny story about him was at WrestleMania 31 when Roman did not win the title, he fucking lost it.
I heard about that.
Yeah, he threw a fit. But the following year, when Roman won the title from Triple H, he like jumped up and down, got all excited. There's like this footage they released a couple days ago of like his reaction when Roman won that match, and yeah, it was great. Yeah, you could definitely tell he's a proud father.
Okay, I gotta see that.
I wasn't really that familiar with the Wild Samoan because obviously that was before our time. I do remember him from the late 80s WWE. There was like this one Saturday night's main event where he actually went against Hogan. It's actually the same Saturday night's main event when Hogan and Savage first formed the Mega Powers. It's that same show.
Okay, yeah, I was very familiar with the Wild Samoans. When I was growing up, I remember briefly. I don't know if it's true or not. I think Batista was trained by one of them.
Batista was trained by Alpha. Yes,
Um,
the other Wild Samoan. He was trained by him.
Alpha. Yeah, right. Yeah, that's when I briefly heard about them though. But I'm pretty knowledgeable about all the past Samoan wrestlers. So yeah, especially the Wild Samoans. So
Yeah, because I don't know if you know that picture that they put out online a few years ago where the Hulk Hogan is like holding Roman Reigns when he's a little kid.
yeah, yeah, I remember that.
That was probably backstage at that Saturday night's main event special where he went against Sika.
Hmm. Okay.
And also I remember Sika from the WrestleMania 4 Battle Royal.
Okay.
Yeah, that was like my
Hmm.
first real introduction to him. But Alpha I was a little more familiar with because I remember Alpha was the manager of the Head Shrinkers.
Right.
Yeah, he used to scare the shit out of me actually. Yeah, he was a scary guy with that big stick he would hit the people with outside the ring.
They're intimidating. They're called the Wild Samoans for a reason.
Yeah, I remember at WrestleMania 9, he clocked the shit out of Scott Steiner with that stick. Ooh, made a nasty sound.
Wow, bad.
Hall of Famer, him and Alpha were legends in this business, and it's unfortunate to see him pass away, but 79 years old is a good amount of time to live on this earth, and that time did not go wasted by any stretch.
Not at all. And he, like I said, he left a mark on his business, and he produced, talent after him. Roman Reigns, Rosie, Jamal too, and just
Jamal Umaga, yeah, Umaga.
yeah. Yep. Again, our thoughts and prayers goes out with him and his family. So I saw the tweet the other day that Roman, expressed
What
his
up? Yeah, I saw
thankfulness
that
to
too.
everybody. Yeah. So again, man, our thoughts and prayers go out with him.
Yeah, thoughts and prayers to the entire family. Hope they really cling together and get through this rough time they're facing right now. And because of this, no surprise, understandably so, Roman Reigns' return is probably not going to be happening as soon as we thought.
Well, because before that, it was rumored that he was going to come back in like mid July.
Well, now that they're doing this storyline now with the Bloodline and Cody and all them, I think it's going to probably be longer than that. And now with his
Mm,
dad passing away, it might be even longer.
I see. Maybe towards the end of the year, maybe.
Possibly maybe Survivor Series time, but we'll see. But speaking of
Yeah.
The Bloodline storyline got a crazy ass shakeup this past Friday night on SmackDown. But before all that happened, the show opened with the hometown hero CM Punk coming out to his hometown crowd in Chicago. And it seemed like he was going to come out and announce that he was cleared to return to the ring, but he was interrupted by his old manager, Paul Heyman.
Oh man. I'm telling you, Kurt, I'm telling you right now, I think this is the moment that all of us, all wrestling fans were waiting for this moment. Ever since CM Punk came back at Survivor Series of last year, were thinking about that time or that moment of CM Punk and Paul Heyman reuniting, and we finally got it. And I'm making a lie, man, it was very heartfelt. It struck a chord, man. It was great.
Yeah, it was nice to see them hug and reunite. It's the first time we've seen them on TV together, really, since that 2013 period. And they were interrupted by the new Bloodline, Solo, along with Tonga Loa and Tamatanga. And Solo was talking about how if you keep running your mouth to Punk, that you're never going to get cleared to return. And Heyman was like, advising Punk to leave the arena because of the whole Bloodline thing and about them attacking him. But he also asked Punk for a favor, and that favor was for him to take him with him.
Yeah, crazy.
Looks scared to death, man.
Mm-hmm. Can't you sense that Paul Heyman is just waiting for Roman to come back? I feel like Paul Heyman is like the substitute teacher in this whole entire situation ever since the new form Bloodline, and he's kind of like trying to, like a substitute teacher where you're trying to, you have that bad class and you're just trying to keep things subtle. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
and things are not going your way. And you're kind of just like, man, I can't wait when the real teacher comes back. I think that's how I see Paul Heyman right now. He's just kind of like, man, I can't restore order. I can't do this on my own. He's just begging. He's just like, Roman, come back, please. I'm telling you right now, when Roman Reigns come back, whenever that time comes, I'm telling you, the Paul Heyman's reaction is going to be out of this world.
I would compare it more to like when a kid has their parents like go out of town or go on a vacation or something, and like the parent leaves them with like a relative, like a grandparent or something that they don't like or that's super strict, and like they can't wait for their parents to come back. They can't wait for the parents to come back. That's kind of the vibe I get from this.
Mm.
I've been in that
Kind of
situation.
like with a babysitter, like you're babysitting, somebody's
Yeah,
kids and
exactly.
they're misbehaving, and you're kind of like, oh man, I can't wait when the parents come back.
Oh no, I mean it more. I mean it more as like being stuck with the babysitter from hell,
Right.
and
Crazy.
you can't wait for your parents to come back so they can save you.
Right.
But anyway, the Bloodline comes into the ring and they're about to attack Punk. But coming out to back up Punk was Cody Rhodes armed with baseball bats that he handed to CM Punk. And the Bloodline, to no surprise, walked their asses out the ring.
Mm.
And then there was a match announced later for that night between Cody and Solo in the main event. But before all that happened, there was a backstage segment where Caleb Braxton was actually speaking to Grayson Waller and also DIY. But right behind him, there was this big ass like garage door. And behind it, you could like hear some noise and hear some commotion. And as the garage door raises up, you see CM Punk lying on the floor all bloodied up. And standing over him is Drew McIntyre.
Man.
I knew it. I knew
I
it.
know.
It
Too called.
happened.
I know. I know.
Drew proceeds to pick up Punk, carries him on his shoulders, takes him to the arena. And as he takes him inside to the arena, to the stage, he drops him right on the stage. And then he takes a bracelet that CM Punk is wearing on his forearm and then just puts it in his pocket. And then security and Nick Aldis and all them come out to stop it. And he even shoves Nick Aldis in the process.
Mm.
Yeah, this whole thing was crazy, man. This is not exactly how I expected it all to go down. But fuck, man, this was one hell of a way to spice up this feud.
I mean, we didn't, but like you said, man, it was a good way to spice up this feud. And look, if you're a Drew McIntyre hater, just look, it's all part of the story. CM Punk is going to get his lip back. Trust me, as we continue to go on later on in this show, and I'll tell you why. But again, this is all good for the feud. I hated seeing this as a CM Punk fan, but as for the storyline, it spices things up, man. It's very rare when we kind of see stuff like this, man, and I love it. This is still holding up to me as a nominee for Feud of the Year. So it's only going to get better as the year winds down. So I'm loving it, but this is all just cinema, man, pure cinema.
Yeah, it was a great segment. And yeah, the sooner SummerSlam comes, the better.
Yeah, but I mean, let's not. I mean, we still have another premium live event to get to, and I'm actually getting excited for that. So I am. Don't
Yeah.
get me wrong. Like we want to get to SummerSlam, but we still have another event on the horizon, and it's shaping up pretty good.
Later on that night on SmackDown, we did have the main event match between Cody Rhodes and Solo Sikoa, which went about maybe 3 minutes tops as the rest of the Bloodline came out to interfere. But then Cody was backed up by Kevin Owens, who was limping like a motherfucker after his Money in the Bank qualifying match, and also Randy Orton. They came out to make the save, cleared the ring of the rest of the members of the Bloodline, and then all three of them had Solo cornered, and Solo was like acting like he was backing down. He was begging for forgiveness, begging for mercy, but then the camera focuses right on his face, and his begging soon turns to one big evil ass smile. And as he's smiling, you see somebody come out from the crowd, and that somebody who comes out from the crowd is none other than Jacob Fatu, as he laid out Cody and Randy Orton with super kicks, and he clotheslined the shit out of Kevin Owens. Bro, that was one nasty ass clothesline, man. JBL and Stan Hansen would be proud.
I'm telling you right now, and yeah, that was a nasty clothesline because I'm telling you right now, as I told some of my other friends, Jacob Fatu is a very dangerous man, intimidating man. By the way,
Yes, and he went on to hit Kevin Owens with a Samoan drop on the steps, speared Randy
yeah,
Orton through the railing, and then he splashed Cody Rhodes, the WWE champion, through the announce table.
mm.
I have to say, bro, this may go down as one of the best debuts in WWE history, like up there with Kane's debut, Jericho's debut. That debut was fucking insane.
I feel you. I love how the way it was done, but if you're gonna have a good debut, it has to transition to a good career, and I could see it. I could see it. I'll put it on top of as one of the great debuts if his career, turns out good. So we'll see what happens from there. But other than that, yeah, what a great way to debut like that, man. Great way.
Yo, he took out all three of them by himself. He took out Randy
Right.
Orton, Kevin Owens, and Cody Rhodes, the WWE champion, on his own. None of the other Bloodline dudes had to lift a finger.
No. And I could say
Yeah, that
he
shit was
like
crazy.
it's so funny. It's so funny because earlier, like year ago, a couple years ago, Solo Sokoa was the enforcer. Now Jacob Fatu is the new enforcer now of the Bloodline.
Yes, and now he's the newest member of the Bloodline, and this storyline got a huge shot in the arm.
Not just that storyline, that whole entire episode of SmackDown averaged 2,336.
Yeah, it was a crazy ass week for wrestling last week with the debut of the Wyatt Six on Raw and then the debut of Jacob Fatu on SmackDown. Many people are even saying the Jacob Fatu debut was even better than the Wyatt's one was. I can't argue that. That's a fair analogy.
Um, it's kind of hard to say which one was better. I mean, it was both. Well, you know what? I have to go with Jacob because we didn't see this one coming, right? The one with the Wyatt Six was like we were told that they're going to come and whatever was going to happen the following week. So we were told, we knew. This one was different because it was surprising. We went into SmackDown unaware about what was going to happen. So that's like the good. That's what makes it special. I think that's what makes it better. So yeah, I agree with you on that.
Before this all happened, actually, Heyman was trying to talk to Solo backstage before he went on for the match, and he was telling him how you're not supposed to beat Cody Rhodes for the title. You're supposed to just keep Cody Rhodes in check so that when Roman Reigns comes back, and then as he says that, Solo stops him and he says, "I'm sorry to tell you this, but Roman's not coming back." Shit.
I wonder what was the look on Paul's face when Solo told him that.
Similar to the look that anybody who owed Griselda Blanco money would have when they found out that they were gonna go see her.
Oh my god.
Shit, you've seen Cowboys, right?
No, I saw. Damn, what was the one show on Netflix about Blanco?
Griselda,
Whoa,
Griselda,
Griselda.
Griselda.
Yes, thank you. Yes,
Well, in Cocaine Cowboys, they interview that dude Rivy, like her main hitman.
yeah.
Yeah, they interview him while he's in prison, and he talks about like different stories of like the different hits he did. He would tell stories about like how he would catch certain dudes who owed him money, and when he would tell them that he was from the Godmother, their whole expression would just change. Like they would be pissing their pants, and yeah, their look on their face would be one of knowing that their time is limited.
Man.
But that's another story. So now that this all went down, and now that Jacob Fatu is a part of the bloodline, it has set up now a match for Money in the Bank, and that's going to be a six-man tag with Cody, Randy Orton, and Kevin Owens against the bloodline. But the only thing is, I don't know which members it's going to be. I know it's going to be Solo for sure, probably Tama Tonga, and either Jacob Fatu or Tonga Loa. I think it's going to be one or the
I
other.
will put I will put Jacob Fatu in there, man.
More than
Get
likely,
him
he
in
will
there,
be
man.
in it. Yeah, more than likely,
Yeah,
he will be.
yeah.
So now that it's going in this direction, it's looking like now they're gonna do Cody versus Solo for the title at SummerSlam, which I heard about earlier that day.
Yeah, I heard about that. I kind of it's a little bit upsetting though because like we saw what happened at Clash of the Castle and then we saw that blink and you missed it moment where Randy Orton was looking at Cody's title. I immediately was like Randy versus Cody for the title, but looking back at it and looking at how things are now, I think you're right. I think it is leaning towards Solo versus Cody for the title.
But you know what's funny? I was hearing that Jacob Fatu was gonna debut a lot sooner than he did,
Yeah.
but there was a fear, and it's looking like that fear might be even more strong now. That Jacob Fatu is probably gonna outshine Solo, similar to how The Rock outshined Farouk in the Nation of Domination.
We'll see what's gonna happen, man. It's too soon to tell, man. He just made his debut. We don't know ring work wise how he's gonna do. We just don't know yet. It's only been
A
a
week.
week now. So yeah, it's only been a week. So we just not jump the gun. We have to wait and see because everything. I think everything in becoming a very talented uprising star in the wrestling business takes a lot. Like you have to have the ring work, the work ethic, but also you have to have that it factor, that personality. So if he has that personality, yes, he'll definitely outshine Solo. But we have to wait and see. We don't know. We just don't know yet.
Yeah, but Jacob Fatu has a very good reputation. He's been killing it. He's been wanting to make this debut and be a part of the Bloodline for a long time, and he finally got his wish. And granted, it is too early to tell, but from
Mhm.
that debut alone, I could see it happening. That dude is destined to be WWE champion within a few years of the rate it's going right now.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I've seen one of his promos in the independent companies that he wrestled with. I'm telling you, dude, I told everybody this. Very intimidating, strong presence. His mic skills was just like you literally had his attention. So we're gonna see how that pans out and how that will transition now that he's in the WWE now. But yeah, I could definitely see it, but only time will tell. We gotta wait and see.
Yes, we do have to wait and see, but what we will see tomorrow night on SmackDown from Madison Square Garden is a bloodline acknowledgement ceremony.
Hmm.
That should be interesting. That should be very
Very,
interesting.
very.
So yeah, this bloodline storyline really got a huge shot in the arm. Definitely spiced things up. It was kind of getting cold for the last few weeks, but now with this debut of Jacob Fatu, I think we're in a good place with this.
Yeah, you could definitely feel strongly about the new form bloodline now. You know what I mean? Before they were kind of like, but after what happened last week on SmackDown, yeah, you feel definitely better about this. Definitely.
Well, the debut of Tama Tonga, like right after WrestleMania, that night was great. Like when this whole thing first started, but over the last few weeks, it's been getting kind of cold. It hasn't been as interesting, but now it's definitely kicked into high gear. I can't wait for these
That's
next.
what I meant. Just before all that, we're like unsure about the direction and everything, but now, like I said, I mean, after last week, you're just like, okay, we're really digging this new form bloodline now. We're digging it.
It's going to be a fun summer. It is going to be a very
Definitely.
interesting next 2 months.
Definitely. And definitely. And it's funny you said that, before we went on the air, that normally after WrestleMania, the company gets a little bit of a, a little slump a little bit. Their storylines are not as impactful or whatever as prior, leading up to WrestleMania. But now since we're in the summer and since SummerSlam is coming up, the the stories are starting to spice up. Everything is becoming, business wise, it's really turning up now in a good way.
In a very good way. And I would continue to go into this past Monday on Raw as the show opened with Drew McIntyre. And he held up the bracelet that he took from CM Punk from the attack on Friday on SmackDown. And the names on the
Mm,
bracelet
mm, mm, mm.
were AJ Lee and, according to Drew McIntyre, Punk's stupid dog Larry. Fucking asshole.
Wow.
Talking shit about the dog.
Mhm.
Fucking
I see.
nasty.
I see. I bet. Yep. I told you he was gonna get under his skin one day. You see. You
Yeah.
see.
And he said he prayed for this, and the man upstairs made it come true.
Oh,
And he even went on to say that he's going to end up winning the Money in the Bank contract and cashing in to get his title back.
and we all know how that's gonna turn out.
Yeah, more than likely, but he has to qualify for the Money in the Bank ladder match, which he will have a chance to do this Monday on Raw in a triple threat against Sheamus and Ilya Dragunov. That match would be fucking nuts.
I bet.
Yeah, but yeah, this Punk and Drew McIntyre feud is one of the best things going, bro.
Absolutely that, and the Dominic Mysterio and the Liv Morgan situation until Rhea Ripley comes back. But yeah, this whole, like I said before, man, this whole CM Punk and Drew McIntyre feud is just it's pure cinema, in the words of Martin Scorsese. One of my favorite directors, by the way. But
Mine too.
yeah, it's pure cinema. Yeah, pure cinema. And I do see Drew McIntyre qualifying for the ladder match, but it's not gonna. It's gonna be the same bad ending as always for him. Punk is probably going to screw him in a ladder match. That's what I predict, and that's what I see happening.
And speaking of Money in the Bank, we had a qualifying match on Monday on Raw, which featured Chad Gable, who is not dead, contrary to what we saw on Raw the week before.
Oh,
He's
thank
still
God!
alive,
Right,
but he arrived at
right.
the arena.
Thank
He
God.
arrived at the arena with extra security, though.
Oh yeah, see, everybody needs to show up with extra security. Come on now, after what happened last week, shoo, I would.
Yeah, they were saying Chad Gable, 1986 to 2024, but luckily he is still alive. He is still alive.
Good lord.
But anyway, he was in a triple threat Money in the Bank qualifying match with Braun Strowman and also Bronson Reed, and he ended up picking up the win.
Hmm.
So yes, some Chad Gable. I figured this was going to happen. He qualified for the Money in the Bank, but as he was celebrating his win, the lights went out, and you could see smoke coming in throughout the ring. And Chad Gable, a very smart man because he has a master's degree, got the fuck out of there.
I bet again I would have done the same thing. Dip and dodge.
Yeah, so this is like another Wyatt Six skit. And as this was all going on, a lady who was pretty much Nikki Cross in the costume handed Michael Cole a box with a VHS tape.
What?
Yeah, a box with a
Wow.
VHS tape.
Kurt, do you still have a VHS player? Just curious.
I haven't used a VHS player since 2007, probably.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's been years. I wouldn't even probably know how to work it.
What? It's not that hard. It's so simple. I still know how to use
I'm
it.
just talking shit. It's just been a long time.
Mine's broke on me.
Oh,
You know how you know how it was a deal for some people where you rewind the tape sometimes and then it would just mess up the tape sometimes.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what happened to me.
Fuck.
You know what's so funny? You know
Yeah,
what's
Jake.
crazy? I was watching SummerSlam '98, and it was like I was like, fuck! I was like, I gotta take this thing out immediately, and I did. Yeah, and I had to throw it away. Not the tape, but the VHS player. So,
Damn.
yep.
SummerSlam 98.
Still a good thing. It's still good to have. Still good. Still. I mean, I
And
don't judge people for still having it. I think it's cool.
and that was the most bought SummerSlam of all time. That did the highest pay-per-view buy rate of any SummerSlam.
Right. Yeah. So anyway, you say Michael Cole.
So Michael Cole received that tape, and then later on in the show, the tape played, and it was Uncle Howdy interviewing Bo Dallas.
Yeah. And just crazy how that whole thing started. It shows Uncle Howdy talking, and we're like, who is he talking to? And camera turns and it shows he's talking to Bo Dallas. That whole interview was just, man, that was so crazy. The questions that Uncle Howdy was asking about his brother, they literally went in depth with that, man. They like, whoa, like, was not expecting that, man. And Bo Dallas kept it real, and that was just unexpected, but a very just a deep interview right there, and just great presentation. I loved it.
Yeah, he was like asking Bo like how he felt when his brother died, and like he really opens up and said how like when
Yeah,
my brother died, the most important person to me left me, and I didn't know what to do. I didn't even want to face life. And he goes on to say like people forgot what he stood for and forgot like the things that he created, and now that he's around, he's gonna be the ones to make sure that they don't forget. But yeah, this was very well done.
right.
This is kind of like a more eerie version of like when they did the Three Faces of Foley all talking to each other before the Cactus Jack debut. Yeah, it was
Mm,
kind of similar to that, but
mm,
only a much darker, much more creepy vibe. And yeah, this is very well done. And it was like kind of
yeah.
crazy. I wasn't expecting him to actually talk about his brother and like his brother dying.
No, 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 nobody did. When I heard that, I was just like, whoa. I was like, they really went there, and I was like, very touchy subject to talk
Huge touchy
about, man.
subject.
And but kind of similar to like I remember when Eddie Guerrero passed away, they did the whole like Randy Orton, Rey Mysterio story,
Feud.
feud based on that, and that was a very touchy thing. You know what I mean? So, I mean, with this one, I you just know this is gonna work out. It's gonna work out. I know it.
It's already been 2 weeks and everything so far has been a home run. Yeah, I love this segment.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
yeah, Bo Dallas is finally going to get a chance to really shine because I remember when he was on the main roster about a decade or so ago, he wasn't really taken seriously, but you're taking his ass seriously now.
Yep.
But also on Raw, we had a segment between Seth Rollins and the world champion Damian Priest.
El Campeon.
Yes, Al Campeon. And there was some special stipulations added to their match for Money in the Bank. And these stipulations go as follows. If Damian Priest wins, Seth Rollins does not get another shot at the title as long as Damian Priest is the champion. But if Seth Rollins wins, Damian Priest must leave the Judgment Day.
Man, something's got to give in this situation.
Yeah, I like this. They really spice things up big time. I was not expecting this match to be like a match with like super high stakes, like where now you really want to watch it. Because like when they signed it before, I'm like, okay, this will be cool, this will be fun. But now with these like extra stakes for it, I really want to see this match now.
Definitely, and that's what I'm saying. Like this, that's why I'm really looking forward to this event. Is Money in the Bank, and in it, and the fact that it's in Toronto, and we know how the Canadians are passionate about wrestling as well, just as much as they love their hockey. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to this whole event because so much could happen. We have the 6-way, we have the stipulation in the world title match. God knows what's going to happen in the Money in the Bank ladder match for the men's. Whew, so much.
And I did like how Gunther came out and interrupted the segment, and he basically said, "At Money in the Bank, between the two of you, may the best man win, because at SummerSlam, the winner is going to be the lesser man to me."
Right. Let's not forget he's still getting his title shot at SummerSlam.
Yeah, do not. And
King of the
Nia
Ring.
Jax too.
Yeah, night. Yup.
This will definitely be better than SummerSlam 96 was, the last SummerSlam that was in Cleveland.
Oh, of course, of course. I think the only memorable thing from that show, Kurt, was the boiler room brawl between Undertaker and Mankind.
Especially when Paul Bear turned on Undertaker at the end. That was the most shocking part of it all.
Um,
All right, but that's another story for another time. But yes, we have that match set for Money in the Bank. And also throughout Raw, we did have the further development of the Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio storyline. As the Judgment Day were all in the Judgment Day's locker room, and Damian Priest noticed a whole bunch of like extra new cool stuff that they have in there, which obviously was compliments of Liv Morgan, which he was not happy about. And then Dominic goes on to show everybody like something that Liv Morgan sent him on his phone. And the Judgment Day's reaction to this was fucking priceless.
uh,
And Carlito, with the line of the mall, just basically looked at it and said, "That's cool, man." Obviously insinuating that it was a picture of Liv Morgan naked.
right.
And then later on that night, Liv Morgan is having a segment with Zelina Vega in which they make a match official for Raw this coming Monday on Raw, not for the Money in the Bank show. And then Dominic Mysterio comes out to interrupt. And then as he's trying to get the crowd to shut up and all that, Liv Morgan and Zelina Vega get into like a cat fight. They're like rolling around on each other. And then Rey Mysterio comes out to separate them, and he gets like Liv Morgan off of Zelina Vega. And this causes Dominic to shove his deadbeat dad down on the ground. And Liv Morgan was so happy and so ecstatic when she saw this that Dominic actually stood up for her and shoved his deadbeat dad down in her honor. And then she tried to hug him backstage afterwards, which he was having none of. And then right after this, she actually ends up talking R-Truth into asking Adam Pearce for a tag title match in which him and Miz would defend against the Judgment Day's JD McDonough and Finn Balor. And this caused Miz to like flip out at commentary, because actually Miz was on commentary filling in for Pat McAfee, which I'll get into in a few minutes. He like flips out, leaves the commentary desk to go like stop R-Truth from talking to Adam Pearce, but it's too late. And then they have the match at the end of the show, and then Liv Morgan comes out and she acts like she's giving R-Truth a hug, but then a few seconds later her face's expression turns, and then she takes R-Truth's head and then slams it against the ropes, and then Finn Balor hits R-Truth with the coup de grace to get JD McDonough and himself the tag team titles. So now the tag team titles are back in the Judgment Day thanks to Liv Morgan.
Man.
Michael Cole had the line of the night at the end of the show where he basically said that Liv Morgan is now the Judgment Day's version of Yoko Ono.
Oh.
Yoko Ono, son. Yoko Ono. Yo, that is one crazy ass comparison. But now it's making sense. Liv Morgan took out Rhea Ripley, put her on the injured list. Then she took her title. Now she's trying to take her man. And now she's trying to take her whole crew from her.
Man.
Because she's winning over the other Judgment Day dudes now, too. Like, JD McDonough and Finn Balor seem to be cool with her. Dominic is like trying not to be cool with her, but like there's things that he's doing show otherwise. The only one who's like really not fucking with her is Damian Priest.
Exactly. And like I said, man, when Rhea Ripley comes back, it's going to explode like the atomic bomb. Literally.
And I'm hearing she'll be back like in time for SummerSlam, but maybe not in a match. But she could be back on TV as a part of the story before SummerSlam, the way it's looking now. And also, briefly, congratulations to Rhea Ripley and Buddy Matthews as they got married yesterday.
They did? I thought they were...
Yeah, they got married.
Oh, they were
engaged, but they actually got married.
That's right. Okay,
they got married.
Okay, yeah. See, that's why I was getting confused. I was like, wait a minute, I'm missing something. Okay, cool. Congrats to them.
Yeah, crazy. Dominic and Rhea Ripley both got married in real life, like within a few months of each other.
Nice.
So JD McDonough and Finn Balor are the new tag team champions. I'm happy with this move. I feel like the R-Truth and Miz thing kind of ran its course, and I'm kind of happy that they moved on from that, and now like it's a part of the Judgment Day again. And yeah, this Liv Morgan thing is really spicing up, and now this coming Monday on Raw, she's going to defend the women's title against Zelina Vega. I kind of saw it going in this direction. And also we're going to have Rey Mysterio against Dominic in their first TV singles match since last year's WrestleMania.
Nice.
So yeah, this Monday's Raw should definitely be a show to watch. I like where they're going with all these storylines with the Drew and CM Punk stuff, the Liv Morgan Judgment Day stuff. Also, the Chad Gable stuff is still good. Chad Gable actually had a confrontation with the old Alpha Academy members after his match, and he was like trying to beg for forgiveness and like, you know, apologize, especially after, you know, what happened to him with the Wyatt Six. But Otis was having none of it. Otis basically said, I feel sorry for what happened to you, but I meant it when I said that we are done with you. And then him and Cesaro left. And then Maxine Dupree was trying to say that he really hurt Otis and he really did wrong by them and that she'll try to talk to him. But then as Chad Gable was like standing there pissed off, the two dudes who came to back him up and girl along with them was Ivy Nile and the Creed brothers. So it looks like it's happening. It looks like it's happening. I've been hearing about this happening for months.
It's interesting.
I've been hearing Jason Solomonster talk about this for a hot minute now. And now seeing what they did on Raw Monday, it looks like they're going in that direction.
Let's see what you mean.
So Chad Gable's going to be fine. It looked bad when he lost those matches last week, but it's looking like he's going to rebound. He didn't die from the Wyatt shit, so that was one plus. Now he's in Money in the Bank, and he's going to have a new crew.
I still applaud him for getting security.
Got to, son. They laid out those motherfuckers too. The Wyatt Six were when they came out initially, when Nikki Cross came out, like as the lights went up, you saw like the two security guards like laid out on the announce table.
Yeah.
Fucking A, son.
Man.
Oh, and also getting into what I was saying a few minutes ago, the reason why Pat McAfee missed Raw Monday was because his father-in-law passed away suddenly.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Yeah, he talked about it on his show the next day on ESPN, but yes, that's what happened. Like right after he finished taping the show on Monday that Triple H was actually on, he got the news that his father-in-law died.
Man, condolences to him and his family. I'm sorry. Wow.
Yeah, huge condolences to them. Yeah, especially his wife, because from what he said on your show the next day, his wife was like a real daddy's girl. They were super close. So yeah, that's horrible. It's fucking horrible.
I see. I bet.
Yeah, rest in peace to that man. Yeah, that's why Pat McAfee missed the show on Monday. But it's funny, they were in Indianapolis for Raw Monday night, and it was actually announced on Monday at a press conference where Bianca Belair actually made the announcement, by the way. that Indianapolis's Lucas Oil Stadium is going to be the home of the 2025 Royal Rumble, but it's going to be on February 1st,
What?
not January.
Why?
I guess that's the day they had to book it, and also it's 1 week before the Super Bowl. So I guess they don't want to compete with the NFC and AFC championships, even though the Royal Rumble doesn't come on Sundays anymore. I guess they don't want to be a part of the same weekend. So maybe they're moving it to that weekend for that reason.
Um, if I remember correctly, I do recall the Royal Rumble sometimes being before those conference championship games.
They would be
Um,
no,
I
it would always be the Sunday before the Super Bowl. Usually, that's usually how it would go.
Yeah, that I know that back then because I mean it was because the Super Bowl was in February, was in January. Back, in the day. But it hasn't been the Super Bowl hasn't been been on January since like '03 if I remember. But yeah, that's a little weird.
Yeah, it's so crazy. First they moved like SummerSlam to July a couple years ago. As great as that SummerSlam was, that was still very weird watching it like at the end of July. Yeah, that was weird. Now they have like WrestleMania like towards the end of April. Now they're gonna have like a 420 WrestleMania in a place where weed is legal, and now they're moving the Royal Rumble to February, early February, but still February.
Yeah.
And also, that's not all they're getting. That's not all Indianapolis is getting. That Lucas Oil Stadium is also going to get a WrestleMania and a SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, man. Indianapolis got hooked up.
Right, big time. What's funny? Everybody's been saying like for the past. I think like for the past few years, I've been hearing a lot of fans saying how. And I think even my brother even said that Indianapolis Lucas Oil Stadium deserves to have a WrestleMania there.
Well, now they're going to get one.
Yeah, they had a Super Bowl there about 12 years ago. So
Yo, I just got to say this. There's more than makes up for the Pacers not winning the NBA title in 2000. That's for damn sure.
oh my god, oh Jesus. Wait a minute now, but wait a minute now. That city does have a championship now. Come on.
The Colts, yes, the Colts. Goes
Yeah.
without
So
saying.
right,
Peyton Manning in the flesh,
right.
even though he left.
Still though, he when you think about the Colts, you think about that. You think about the Colts. That's the first person that comes to your mind. So
I have to say though, Indianapolis has had some classic pay-per-views in the past. Two of them being WrestleMania 8 and also SummerSlam 2008.
true. And then let's not forget this too. Outside of wrestling, they're very popular on having the Indianapolis 500 over there.
That also. And they have a rabid fan base, bro. Like especially watching those Pacers games. Yo, those
Oh
fans
yeah,
out there are no joke. They know
oh
their
yeah,
basketball, son.
true. Oh yeah, it's Indiana, dude. Come on, come on. Like, let's not forget before the Indiana Pacers were, that powerhouse. Especially during the '90s, right? What were they known for? Who do you think about? The Indiana Hoosiers. That was a
Yes.
college team. Bob Knight.
That fucking psycho.
Well, God rest his soul, though, but still, he was a good coach, though. But
Ooh, did you ever watch the 30 for 30 about him?
no, I know like all about him, about what I knew there's a lot. So
I'll never forget that one story where like he got so pissed off at his team that he literally picked up shit and threw it against the wall and said that's what you guys are playing like right now.
man,
Fucking nuts, man.
hmm
All right, but that's another story. But yeah, shout out to Indianapolis for getting a Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, and SummerSlam. Yeah, very few cities have gotten all three of those shows.
huh?
I think there's only like really four cities that have actually gotten all of the big four pay-per-views.
I'm really trying to think.
It's New York, Philly, Boston, and Detroit. I believe Detroit also.
Yeah,
Those are the main four.
yeah, you're right. You're right.
It looks like Indiana's going to join that club.
Hmm
Yeah, but shout out to that city for getting those big shows. And Looking forward to seeing what the stadium setting looks like for it.
It will look good. It's a nice stadium, so it will look perfect.
I know you're gonna like what I'm gonna say next. When Triple H was on Pat McAfee's show Monday, he revealed that Raw, when it goes to Netflix next year, is gonna be uncensored.
Thank God. Yeah,
Not WCW uncensored, legit uncensored.
I know we get it, but this is good. And again, when are they're supposed to make the move? But next year, right?
Right around the time of the Royal Rumble.
Got you.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this, man. Yeah, with what we've been seeing on TV the last few months is any indication with like the blood and some of like the foul language that we weren't hearing a few years ago. Yo, I'm looking forward to getting Netflix back because I haven't had Netflix actually in a month.
Damn.
Well, I'm gonna get it back for next week because Beverly Hills Cop 4 debuts, so I'm gonna get it back for that, and also Cobra Kai drops in a few
Mm,
weeks too.
got you.
Yeah, Beverly Hills Cop 4, bro. This is their chance to redeem themselves from that piece of shit number 3 from '94.
Ooh, we'll see what's gonna happen, man.
Yo, the first movie is still dope. That's honestly like the first real action comedy, like the first real action comedy that did that well, that kind of opened the door for the Lethal Weapons, the Bad Boys, the Rush Hours. Yeah, Beverly Hills Cop was that first real one.
You know, that's a good point. That is true.
And it's funny, one more thing about Beverly Hills Cop before we move on. It's funny they actually play the Beverly Hills Cop theme at the end of WrestleMania 1 in the original version.
They did.
Yeah, like when they're showing the highlights of everything that happened and like doing the closing credits, yeah, they play the Beverly Hills Cop theme
Oh,
for
wow,
it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, because I had the original VHS, and yeah, they play that theme, yeah, at the end of the show.
Crazy.
In other WWE news, this coming Friday on SmackDown at the Garden is going to be Kayla Braxton's last show with them.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, she put up a post last week that this coming Friday it will be her last night in WWE, and she will be moving on to other things.
Okay.
But she's not going to AEW. She made that very clear. She is not going to any other wrestling promotion because she said if she were to work in wrestling, she would not work for any other wrestling company than the one that is the best, that being WWE.
Gotcha. I feel you on that, but we wish for the best for her. Whatever goals that she's gonna go after, wish nothing but for the wish nothing for the best for her.
Yeah, definitely. I will always have good memories of those backstage segments she would always have with Paul Heyman when she would always like come up to him and scare the shit out of him. Like he'd be like walking and like right when he would turn the corner, she'd be like waiting right there. And he like almost have a heart attack. Before Solo and the Bloodline was stressing him out, Kayla Braxton was stressing him out.
Wow.
Yeah, she was always good. I always found her to be a good backstage reporter. Yeah, she will be missed.
She was.
I gotta be honest, bro. I am really not feeling AEW right now.
Oh man, I just, dude, it's like I haven't heard much from them in a while. I haven't heard anything appealing from them.
I was watching Dynamite last night. They're building to that Forbidden Door show where they go against all the New Japan people.
Yeah. I like
So
that.
that
I always like that idea.
it's a fun concept. Like the show is good, but just the TV building to it over the few weeks, it's just not that interesting because like these storylines aren't going to mean anything after that show's over.
Mm,
I'm sure those matches at the Forbidden Door show this Sunday are going to be great. They're going to kill it. It's going to be in Long Island at the UBS Arena. But the thing is, like with the way they build these shows, like with all these New Japan people, after Sunday, it's not really going to mean anything.
hmm.
Yeah, it's a great match on that night. It's fun on that night. But then when you get to Dynamite the next week, it's not going to be anything important.
That is true though, but just in general, I haven't really heard anything like exciting from these guys, man.
Yeah, it's not really been that interesting. Although they are going to have as the main event for Forbidden Door, Swerve Strickland defending the title against Will Ospreay's international title.
Okay.
Fuck, man, that's going to be great. That match is going to be incredible. I'm surprised they're doing it this soon, but fuck it.
I still like the name the international title. I love that name.
Yeah, it is a dope title. And Will Ospreay is a beast, man. That match is definitely going to be worth
Mm.
watching alone. But the rest of the matches on the show seem interesting too. There'll be fun matches. But like I said, bro, this is just like one show where it'll be great that night, but it's not going to mean anything the day or two after.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, bro, it sucks. And also, Dynamite did its lowest rating ever last Wednesday, 500,000.
Yeesh.
Ever since that shit they did a few months ago with showing the footage of Punk at All In last year, yo, they've just been whack, bro. Gonna be honest, it's been
Man,
whack. I have not been
just
interested in AEW the same since.
dude, just shot themselves in the foot, man. Again, dude. Like, oh, it's sad. So sad. Just stay in your lane, man.
And people are making the excuse that the Kendrick concert might have had something to do with them doing such low ratings.
Ow. Oh,
Because
stop.
and also the fact that Big Bang Theory is usually their lead-in before Dynamite, and Big Bang Theory did not come on before Dynamite last week, so they're saying that might have been a part of it too.
Oh, stop.
But it's just not a good
Excuses.
look for them right now, man. They still have great talent. There's things about the show to still like, but now it's becoming a chore to watch Dynamite. I hate to say that, but it's becoming that way now.
Kind of like, yeah, kind of like how,
Raw was a couple years
Raw
ago,
was, several years ago too. Yeah, yeah, you're right, man. A chore. That's a sad thing to say.
and I won't even bother with Collision and Rampage. Yeah, I haven't watched those shows in months. Well, Rampage probably years, but I haven't watched Collision in I don't at least 6 months.
Well, how do you think I felt when AEW Double or Nothing came here about a month ago?
You didn't want to go.
I didn't have like the urge to go like I did a couple years prior. I just didn't have that urge to go because it's just I don't know. It's just because of how the way they're doing things. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. Just this is the stuff. No, it's just the stuff, the inner work that they're doing. Stuff like that. Not staying in their lane, just not just focusing on everybody else and not trying to make things better in their own product. It's stuff like that is why we're not really into it as much like as we used to.
And this whole elite storyline where they're taking over the show and throwing their weight around and their muscle around, that's also not really popping. Mercedes Monet, she had that great match with Willow Nightingale at the last show, Double or Nothing, but
Mhm.
but people are still like not really feeling her in a lot of ways. People are still like criticizing her promo skills and what they've been doing with her since she debuted.
Right.
I mean, she's still great. She still has that star power, but I don't know. She just doesn't feel the same, at least for
No.
now. Maybe it can get better, but I guess maybe overall it's just the whole temperature of the show. The show just does not feel like it's on WWE's level or even close.
No, no,
Because
no.
when Dynamite first started, it was a cool alternative to WWE because of the fact that WWE's product was as horrible as ever at that time. We've talked about it before. But now that WWE's gotten better and WWE's like doing monster business, like the best business they've done in 20 years, and AEW's been having their issues, their backstage bullshit going on, you could like definitely tell that WWE is like leaps and bounds ahead of them. Like it was kind of obvious a few years ago, but now it's really obvious. Like when I was watching Dynamite last night and I saw like the arena was like half dark, pretty much to like not put any light on all the empty seats. I said, bro, this is sad. This is fucking sad.
When you really look at it, I mean, we watched AEW wasn't because of the fact that WWE was bad at the time. Just us in general as wrestling fans, even before all that, before AEW, was created, we always wanted another wrestling alternative route in general, regardless of how good or bad WWE was. Even if WWE was still was like good at that time, we still would have tuned in and see how good this AEW thing concept would have been like. Because ever since the Monday Night Wars ended, ever since WCW went out of business, we always wanted like another wrestling, you know, alternate, show to watch other than WWE. Don't get me wrong, we had TNA, but it really wasn't at that level as WWE. So when AEW came in into the forefront, that's when we kind of, like, oh, like we felt happy, we felt relieved that okay, we have something else to watch. We could, we don't just have to watch AEW, WWE all the time. You know what I mean? So that's how I see it.
Yeah, it gave us that alternative, and it was very good for a couple years. But then, ever since that whole Punk stuff happened with the Elite, it's just gotten worse and worse. And it's never been as bad as now. I hate to say it, but it's just never been as
No.
uninteresting as it has been right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even Tony Khan went on to say recently that the AEW's women's division is the best division in all of wrestling. He sure does not treat it that way.
Just got to stay in your lane, dude. And as a company, especially.
Yeah, I mean, look, AEW has great women's talent. Don't get me wrong; their women's division is very good, but just the way he, utilizes them on TV, where they get like one, maybe two segments tops, it's just clear that it's not the same vibe with their women's division as it is in WWE or even TNA. In many cases, a lot of people always praise TNA's knockouts division, like even before like the whole women's evolution thing that WWE was doing all those years ago. TNA's like knockouts division was like making that noise first, but they were just on a smaller scale.
Right.
Yeah, but I heard even Medusa say recently that the women in AEW's locker room like turned down her training and like turned down her advice.
Mm.
I guess this goes back to like the whole Hangman thing from a few years ago where he talks about how he doesn't take advice from the veterans. Yeah, that is not a good attitude to have, bro. That is not a good attitude.
No.
You don't have to
Oh no.
you
Oh
don't
my
have to
God.
agree. You don't have to agree with everything they say, but you should at least hear them out.
True.
Yeah, because no matter how much you think you know, nobody knows everything.
Exactly.
Like everybody who's made it to that next level, they had somebody teaching them and somebody showing them right from wrong. Where would Daniel LaRusso be without Mr. Miyagi, son?
Exactly.
Yo, it's
That's a good
crazy.
point.
Fucking last Saturday was the 40-year anniversary of when it came out.
You can't believe it's in 40 years. Crazy.
Shit, man. I can't believe it either. Came out 1 week after the Celtics beat the Lakers in that game 7 in the 84 finals.
Oh Lord. I don't even know why I'm complaining
I
about
know,
that.
not a good memory.
I wasn't even born yet, but why am I even complaining? But still.
Still mad they canceled Winning Time, but we'll get into that later.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh God. I have the book, so I have the book. Nothing wrong picking up a good book and reading it. So
yeah, there was just so many more stories they could have told, so much more they could have done. But that must have been a shitty night for the Lakers, like having to leave the arena after all that, like and the fans trying to
yeah,
fuck with them, and probably people trying
yeah,
to fuck with them in the streets too. Yeah,
man.
fucking A.
Mm.
Probably what the Oilers went through in Florida on Monday night. I'm happy for my old hometown. I have a lot of memories in that arena too.
Crazy. You know, the state of Florida has been just dominating hockey for the past few years, dude.
Yeah, good for them. I'm happy that they finally won a title because I remember years ago when I used to
Bad.
live in Florida, they would give tickets away to their games.
Yeah. That whole franchise was just bad. Their fans would not show up. And like the only time like I will see their fans is if like, playoffs will come around. But man, did this. They were in a cup final last year too. You know what I mean? I thought like after that, now I'm not going to see them
Against
again. But
Vegas.
then surprise, yeah. And I thought we're not going to see these guys in the final again, and they were back in it this year. And I said to myself, okay, they're going to win it this time. So
Yeah, it's great to see them go from where they were all those years ago, from what you were talking about, to seeing them be NHL champions. And
yeah,
look, Florida's fan base isn't the most loyal. I saw a whole bunch of people online that I knew when I lived in Florida posting shit about the Panthers, yay the Panthers, yay the Panthers. And I've never once seen most of them ever post about hockey before. Never.
right, right.
Yeah. I'm like, bro, y'all aren't hockey fans. Y'all,
Thank
come
you.
on now. We know what this is.
Right,
I'm still happy for them and all that. It's all good, but bro, you're not fooling anybody. They were the same way with the Heat.
right.
That's why I turned against the Heat. That's why I wasn't a Heat fan anymore. When I moved back to Florida, when LeBron joined the team in Bosch, I could just like see through their bullshit. I could like just like tell, especially after living in New York, especially after living in New York, especially after living in NY, I could tell the difference between real fans and fake fans. Because I'm dead ass. Like the real fans go to the
I
games. The
know.
real fans show love even when the team sucks.
Yeah, I know. Trust me, I know, dude. You got anything to talk about before we jet off?
Nah, nothing really. I was gonna mention, yeah, I watched the movie last Saturday for the anniversary. Yeah, it's crazy that it's been 40
Ah,
years since that movie came out, and we're about to get the last season of
mm.
Cobra Kai dropping in 3 weeks.
Ooh. Oh boy.
But people have some revisionist ass history when it comes to that movie because people swear that like Daniel was the real bully and like Daniel started all of it. But if you watch that like very beginning scene, like when him and Johnny first meet each other, it is Johnny being the douche the whole time. This is where Logan Paul learned his douchebag fuckness from.
Uh,
Crazy because he looks like him too.
oh, and just real quick, as I predicted, and I'm happy this is happening. Just real quick, LA Knight and Logan Paul on a collision course, and I love it.
They're gonna be in a qualifying match for Money in the Bank tomorrow night, along with Santos Escobar.
Yeah.
But
So
they are on a collision course for SummerSlam, which is
yes,
gonna happen.
yes.
It's
Oh
going
my
to
god.
happen.
Oh my god. I'm so excited.
And the winner
Man.
of that match, is gonna join Chad Gable, Andrade, Carmelo Hayes, Jay Uso, and also the winner of Drew, Sheamus, and Ilya Dragunov. So yeah, Money in
Ooh.
the Bank for the men's is looking sexy.
I can't wait, Kurt. Can't wait. In Toronto, oh my god.
Oh, also official for Money in the Bank, we have Braun Breaker challenging Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental title.
Yes. Forgot about that too. That's going to be one hell of a match. Oh my god.
Ooh, it's gonna be rough. Yeah, it's gonna be rough, son.
Yeah.
Rough.
Can't wait.
And congratulations to Booker T because his Hall of Fame podcast is actually going to be syndicated by ESPN starting this weekend.
I just saw that. Congratulations to him, man. Saw that.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, congratulations to him. More power to him, bro. Yo, that dude is a success story if I've ever seen one. Like, if you want to talk about like American dreams, American success stories, that's fucking Booker T.
Right.
Oh shit! Speaking of black success stories in wrestling, I saw fucking Teddy Long at the gym yesterday.
You told me that.
Crazy,
That's
son.
crazy, man.
Crazy, son.
It's
Well,
funny.
all the
I
places I
saw a wrestler in the gym, and now you saw somebody.
No, but all the places I would see Teddy Long, I would have never thought I would run into him in a gym, like in Atlanta. I didn't go up to him or talk to him or anything, but
No.
I just noticed the WWE shirt. I'm like, oh shit, somebody's a wrestling fan. And then I saw the person wearing the shirt. I'm like, oh shit, that's Teddy Long. Fuck, that's Teddy Long, son.
Wow.
Yeah, but he was working out and all that. So, and I'm not really like big on approaching these kind of people that way. So yeah, I didn't go up. I didn't talk to him.
No, don't. Especially at a gym, don't. That's a no. That's a no. Oh no. I would not. If I was a wrestler, I do not want nobody approaching me at the gym. Sorry. I'm
Nah.
there to work out. I'm not trying to. Yeah. Don't.
Yeah. Girls hate that shit, and apparently wrestlers hate that shit too.
uh, yeah.
Bees like that. But yes, we have Money in the Bank
Right.
coming up next Saturday. We'll have our prediction show next week. And yes,
Yes.
the summer is popping, son. The summer is popping. It is off to a good start.
What's not popping is this weather in Vegas, Kurt.
Yeah, it's pretty hot out here too, man.
No. I'd rather have what you have than what I'm having here. It is triple digits. It is a living nightmare here in Vegas. I'm going to celebrate once the fall starts, okay? Oh,
I'm gonna celebrate by going to see Jet and Jackson here in a couple weeks.
oh, God.
Maybe even Usher.
Oh, it's unbearable, man.
Yeah, just like 2019 WWE. But until next time, for John Randall, this is Conscious Kurt with another edition of the Clash of the Champions. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And remember, do not be an asshole in real life or social media because that toxic ass bullshit is
It's for
for
the
the
birds.
birds.
And ladies and gentlemen, be safe, God bless, and always be cool.